All right, good afternoon. My name is Salahuddin Masoom. Um, you can call me Masoom. As you can see my name here in Pause. Do you all know how to go to Pause and log on to Pause and come to this page? Now in Pause, I just post a couple of basic things that we need to start this class. The first one that we have is the syllabus. So we'll first start with the syllabus, but before we start with the syllabus, let me give you the very quick idea of what we should be expecting in this class. So first of all, you registered into Math 1530, which is a probability and statistics enhanced section. Okay, I'm not sure, have you ever taken any enhanced section before? So let me first quickly tell what we have in our enhanced section. In the enhanced section, it's not like our traditional section. So what happens in the traditional section? You go to classroom, your instructor lectures, you take note, right? And then you go back home, you probably have some assignments to complete, you do it on your computer or maybe handwritten, submit something. But the enhanced sections are completely different, because in enhanced section, all the lectures are actually in computer. Okay, so the idea is that you will listen the lecture before you come to the class. Okay, so that we don't waste time here just listening to the lecture, because it's online. You just should listen the whole lecture. You can listen, listen it again and again. But in the classroom, you will be actually working with your assignments, meaning the homework, self-check. We'll talk about the homework and what kind of assignments we have here. Because we have seen it for several years. We have been using the enhanced section. The reason actually all this motivation of enhanced section we have is because our students actually struggle with their homework a lot. So that's why we did it a little bit different way. So you just listen the lecture outside of the classroom, and then you come here to do your homework. And also, you probably know that this is a hybrid section. There are two different things here. This is an enhanced section, and at the same time, this is a hybrid section. The way you know is, if you look at our section number, you see there is a H here that actually tells this is also a hybrid section. Now, there is also a difference between the hybrid section and a traditional section, because the hybrid section usually meets for the half of the time. If you look at the time, this class meets for like 1.5 hours, but it's actually a three-hour class, right? So we should be meeting for 3 hours, but this is not the case in the hybrid section, because the idea in the hybrid section is that you'll be working half of the work outside of the classroom, and you'll be working half of the class work at the classroom. So technically speaking, this is what we should be doing in this class. We should listen the lecture, we should try our homework even right after we listen the lecture, because it's online and we just meet once a week. And when you come back to the class, you can always talk to me, and you can just send me email while you are not here, meaning during the week, anytime. You can even see me if you want, just send me an email. I can tell you why you need to come to see me. We have plenty of tutors for this class in all of our campuses. So I'll give you a list of tutors with their schedules. Even if you want, you can sit down with them one-to-one. You need any help, I'm saying we have plenty of different ways of giving you the help. Okay, so this is a very quick intro of exactly how you should be extending. So this class, you will not have like traditional lectures. Okay, so instead you will listen to the lecture in computers. You will start your homework anywhere, in classroom, at home, and then if you have any problem, you can talk to me. You can sit down with the tutor. You can get unlimited help. Okay. Any question about the method of instruction we'll be having in this class? Okay. All right. Let's look at what we have in our syllabus, and then again I'll answer your question based on that, and then we'll also talk about something else. Now, if you are here, let me download this one so that we can, or maybe we can just. Okay. So here is the syllabus for this class, which is the latest version of the syllabus. So the syllabus actually tells you at the beginning that what exactly you will be learning in this class. Again, a lot of terms here, like sampling, data organizations, analysis, frequency distributions, central tendency, and all those things we'll be learning in this class. And I'm sure that most of you probably have not seen these terms in your whole life, and which is normal. Okay, and that's why we are here. I'm saying if you don't understand any of these, which is actually normal. So, and we also mentioned that the prereq of this, so basically most of the students who actually take this class, Math 15 to 30 enhanced section, they also should have registered another section, which is another math class, which is Math 0530. Did you all register into another class, which is another math class, which is Math 0530? Yeah, that's actually a support class designed to help you out with this class. So I can also see your progress in that class, even if I'm not the instructor, because that class is closely related to this class, and all the materials you'll be learning in that class will be actually helpful to understand the materials you have in this class. So we also mentioned there is a prereq, because I'm sure that you already, since you are registered, you already met the prereq, any of the other. So we need an access code from Pearson. That access code is called MyLabs Plus access code. You can buy it from bookstore. You can even try it online. But all you have to do is just tell that you are registered into Math 1530 enhanced section. So then they will know exactly what is the standalone access code. But the MyLabs Plus, I'll show you how to log on to that website. That has some free trial period. So you should be fine for today. Okay? Yeah, so pretty much starting from, I'm guessing it's starting from today, but I'll let you know, because sometimes actually they start from the day when the semester begins. So for an example, they might have started from August 28, but I'll double check and let you know. Okay? So you should be good for first 14 days. You have free trial, so you can do your work, but make sure you buy the access code within 14 days, and then you can enter the code, so that you can keep working, and there will be no interruption of your work. And even if you, in case you lose your access due to gap between the code you enter and the trial period expires, you should be still fine, because I can still see your grade. I'm saying all the works you do, even if your access is expired, is it still there? I'm saying is it still valid? I can still see those, okay? But you'll not be able to access after the 14 days. So you're fine for today. And you also probably know, if you have taken any other math class, so we need a calculator. It's a little bit advanced calculator. I'm sure that if you have taken any other math class, you probably already have that calculator. So these are the models we recommend. The TI-84 Plus is actually the one which has all the features we need. Even that's pretty much the superset of everything that you see on the list. Okay, but you can buy any of those and should be fine for this class. Okay. We actually have a textbook for this class, but instead of using the textbook, we use the ebook, and you can access the ebook through your access code. So you don't. No, all you need is just the access code, because if you have the access code, you can access the ebook online. Okay, but I'm just saying we have we also have a hard copy, but you don't have to buy it. But in case you need, you want, I can show you how it looks. But I think ebook is fine, because you can just read all the sections and everything that you need to know through your access code. And all the works like homework, test, all kind of assignments we have for this class is actually is located in a website from Pearson publisher, because who actually are the publisher of the book. So we access to the website using this web address, stcc.mylabsplus.com. Okay, once you log on there, if you have an account, you can always use it. Otherwise, you have to create an account. And I strongly recommend you create an account using your Southwest email address. Okay, meaning exactly like the Southwest user and password, which is better, so that you will never forget anything. It will be exactly the same access. And I'll also give you some additional information if you need. Okay. Now there are several course objectives. So the objectives actually tell you what exactly you should be learning at the end of the class if you're successful. Okay. And I strongly recommend that you read but you may not understand some of the terms. Again, that's for the same reason, because you have not seen those, and you probably don't have any idea about those, but probably at the end of the semester you'll understand exactly the objectives. And there are some learning outcomes. So learning outcomes actually tell what you will be able to do with all these things you have learned in this class. Okay. And in the next part, we have the section number from the book. So you see here in this class, we actually have 5 modules. Okay, so we actually finish one module and then go to the next one. So pretty much like you finish module 1, then you go to the module 2, you go to the module 3. So that's how you actually have 5 modules in this class. And for every module, we actually have some sections from the book. Okay, so for an example, module 1 includes 4 sections from the book. So 2 sections from chapter 1, section 1.1 and 1.3, and 2 sections from chapter 2. So it doesn't look like that the modules are and chapters of the book are same, right? So even if the module 1, I'm saying it is module 1, and still you see there are chapters from chapter 2. I'm saying there are sections from chapter 2. And same is here for the module 2, we have sections from chapter 2, we have sections from chapter 9, we have sections from chapter 3. So it's actually a little bit randomized. It's actually based on our experience. We did that so that you understand the materials better. So we little bit shuffled and reorganized the materials. But you don't have to worry, because all you have to do is once you are in the My Labs Plus, you will listen to the lecture, and all the lectures are recorded based on what we have in the different modules. Okay, meaning from the different sections of the book. But in case if you, let's say, want to check the book, because you can still access the book ebook online. Let's say you want to access the book, so you know exactly which modules is from which chapter and which section you need to see in case you want to see. Okay, so that's how we have like 5 different modules here. This section is really very important. Okay, so if you log on today to My Labs Plus, because we'll actually do it. But once you do it, you'll see that all the items you have there, because you'll have the lectures for every module. You will actually have multiple lectures. Okay, most likely you will have lectures for every section. For an example, so as you have seen that in module 1 we have 4 sections, so it's likely that you might have 4 lectures from there, because each will be from different sections. Now, you must have to listen the whole lecture to start anything with that subsection. Okay, so lecture does not have any, it is actually doesn't have any grade added to your final grade, but that's like a prereq to start anything from that lecture. So you cannot just click it, open it, and close it. You actually have to listen the whole lecture. So that has to be 100% completed to start anything. Okay, because again, and that's probably is ideal, because without listening you will not understand most of the things you have in the lecture. So that means for the lecture videos we have a mastery score of 100%. Now remember, this 100% will actually show you 100% there, but it will not add anything to your grade. Okay, but this is just like a prereq so that you can start the materials in the course. The first things you will see in any subsection, I would say sub module, is homework assignments. Okay, so you will have multiple homework assignments for each subsection, maybe 1 or more. Now, every homework can be completed, can be accessed for unlimited number of times. So you can do it again and again. Okay, every time you start, you will see the same questions. I would say probably similar questions, because those will be pretty much similar, because they are same, but they don't have the same numbers. So that's how you'll actually able to be practice a lot, because every time you do, you'll be practicing, because you'll see similar question, but not the same one, because its number is a little bit different. But you have to get 80% at least in every homework assignment to actually do the next ones. But the good news is you can try it again and again. Okay, you can try it again and again. After you are done with the homework for every every lecture, you also have something called self-checks. Self-checks are like some sort of quiz. Okay, you also need to have at least 80% of the self-check. But again, remember, the self-checks are actually based on the homework. So you will see some questions from the homework. Okay, now for an example, in the homework you probably have done, let's say, 20 questions. Okay, In the self-check, you might see like 5 out of those 20. So it will be still the same questions repeated, but probably the most important ones, or maybe like something we need to emphasize a little bit more. So we'll see those questions. But this is a little bit tricky because the self-checks are only 3 items, because you can only try it for 3 times. You have to get 80%. This is a little bit tricky because that's why you actually let you practice the homework again and again so that you actually master the skill, okay? So that you don't have any trouble in the self-check. The self-checks are actually the same questions you have seen in the homework, okay? But self-check, you actually have 3 items. Now, you may not have to take 3. It's up to you because we need 80%, but we recommend you get 100%. So if you want, you can try it again. Let's say even if you got 80%, you can still try it because the MyLabs Plus actually record the highest grade. So if you try 3 times, automatically your highest grade will be recorded. And we expect you to at least get 80% in any of these 3 chances or more. And for every module, we have a module exam. So as you have seen, we have 5 modules. So we have a module exam for every module, okay? So that means we actually have 5 different exams for 5 modules. And at the end, we also have a comprehensive final, which includes all of the module exams, meaning all the modules, okay? So that means we actually have 6 exams. 5 exams for 5 modules, 1 is final, which includes everything. That's at the very end of the semester, okay? So we also have some restriction for the exam because I think for all of the exams, you must have to get at least 70%. Because as you know, that 70% is a very bare minimum grade, which is C, so you must have to get 70%. Now, in case you don't get 70%, you talk to me and we'll see what we can do, okay? But the idea is if you do the homework, if you do the self-check, you get the points that you need, there is no way you will miss 70% in the test because it's actually based on the same questions, similar ones that you have done in the homework, in the self-check, and again in on the module exam. So it pretty much should be the same question. So as you can see, in the homework, we're expecting 80%. In the self-check, we're expecting 80%. In the test, we're expecting 70%. So idea is if you get 80% in those, it's very likely that you'll actually make 70% at least, okay? But remember, if you keep making 70%, you are actually getting very close to C. So you should actually try to get even better than 70%. 70% is the bare minimum, okay? So, all right. So there are activities in the supplemental materials which are not graded. However, utilizing these resources will assist you in better understanding of the curriculum because there are several things you will see there. In addition to these, those are not required. There are some optional items. If you see anything other than these, you can try it, but that's up to you, okay? So you can try it, and those are just for, for helping you to understand the materials, okay? We expect you to attend every class regularly here. We take the attendance every day. And as you know, the grading policy you have already seen, and you will be also able to see your grade every time you do something. The grade will be changing, and you'll be able to see it in my Labs Plus. You'll be able to track your grade every time you do something. So you also will know the total grade. There is additional something called homework folder. We have to maintain a homework folder, okay? Now, what do you do in the folder? We'll actually give you some more instruction actually how to keep a homework folder. I'll give you the hard copy. I'll also actually show you here what we are expecting for the homework folder. So this is also called, I think, notebook, okay? In the homework folder, we require you to keep everything you are doing for the homework. For an example, let's say when you are doing the homework, okay? Let's say you are doing 20 questions. So in the homework folder, you just write every number. You don't have to write the question, but let's say write question number 1 and write what you need, because you have to write something, right? I'm saying you have to do something in the math. You cannot do everything on your head, right? So you have to probably do some math, some steps following, you just write all of those. So basically, it's like keep tracking of the homework, and it's actually important because homework folders are manually graded by me, and I have to enter the grade, okay? So I'll also show you exactly how what we are expecting from your homework folder. how the grade will be assigned. So we'll actually give you some information like this. But again, it should have all the problems that you are doing for the homework. Okay, let's say you have 20 questions. You should have all the 20 questions. Don't write the question, just write the question number and at least write all the steps so that we understand exactly how you did it. And also the solution and answer clearly written so that we understand exactly how you did it. Homework folders obviously will be graded based on neatness, organization, completeness, and also the effort. We'll also give you some more idea about the homework folder. Okay. Now the final grade for this course is determined by the work that has been completed by the specified final exam date. Okay. So basically you have to finish everything by the date, and there are some drop add deadlines. You should always check the Southwest calendar to do for that. Any questions?
So the homework isn't online, it's handed out?
No, it's all online. I'm talking the homework folder is handed out. The notebook. In the homework, you actually do what? So let's say you read the question, okay? And then in online, you have the places where you enter the answer. But to get the answer, you have to write some steps, right? You actually write it in the notebook. And then you write the answer there. So once you write the answer, you get the grade for the homework, but you also maintain a homework folder where you are writing those steps.
You have to have the steps in the
Yes. No. Answers in the website, steps in the folder. Okay? Okay, so and then that folder needs to be submitted periodically. I will just tell when you need to submit. Okay, so it's most of the folders are actually due before the module exam. Okay, so the idea is when you will be having your module exam, I'll be grading your notebook folder for that module. That's what I'm saying. Because for
Do you have a select time for the exam?
yes,
Before
yes.
class? You can take the exam at any time. Just have to take the exam. You have to substitute.
We do a little bit more strict. We try to maintain a little bit more strict deadlines here, so that we don't lose the track of the class. So I'll also give you a handout which tells you with the dates. I did not put the date yet, but I'll show you the sequence of the class. But I'll also put the date and give you the handout so that you know exactly when we'll have our exam, especially the module exam. Okay, but there is no. I'm saying before the module exam, we'll also tell you when to do what. Okay, so that you can keep track of your progress. So if we tell, okay, by today you need to finish module 1. Okay, now let's say if you are not done with the module 1 by today, that means you are behind. Okay, but you are always welcome to go ahead of the class. I'm saying you can do your work and then you can go advance. And if you really want to even have your exam early, just let me know. We talk and we'll see what we can do. Okay, that's possible. But we always want you to at least to maintain the pace with the class. So there are some basic information about this is very common in all Southwest classes. So I'm skipping some of these, but because you have the access to the syllabus, so you can always read, and I'll also give you the hard copy. You have the soft copy here, so you can pretty much see all of these. So any question about the grading and the homework, self-check? So as I can remember, because I'm not the designer of the class, but I have been teaching this class for a long time. So as I can remember, all the items you have seen, the most important items are the lecture video, meaning video lecture, which you need to listen 100%, then homeworks, then self-check, and then the module exam. Okay, as I can recall, your grade will actually be based on self-check, module exam, notebook folder, and comprehensive final. Okay, so basically there is no grade for the homework, but homework always helps you to understand the material so that you do good in self-check, you do good in the final. You see what I'm saying? Meaning you cannot skip the homework, you cannot skip the lecture video. You always have to have those so that you can do better in the self-check, you pass the module with good grade. Okay. Yes, you still have to finish it. You actually will see those grades, but those will not be used to calculate your final grade. That's what I'm saying. There is a big grade book in my labs plus. So you will pretty much see all the let's say you got 70%, 80%, 90% in different things. You will see pretty much all the grade items. But what I'm saying is only self-check, module exam, comprehensive exam and notebook folders are used to calculate your final grade. Okay, but homework is always important because you do your homework so that you understand the self-check. Okay, and as you have seen that the homework is actually unlimited, but the self-check is only 3 times. So you actually need to get ready for the self-check through your homeworks, even if those are not used to calculate your grade. Any other question regarding the syllabus, grading, restrictions? If you have not been any enhanced class before, I think, don't worry, because I think after 1 or 2 weeks we'll probably understand exactly how it works. Okay, it's not a big deal. Let me show you what we have. What else we have here? We also have. Let's see. This is actually the pacing of the class, but today I'll also give you these with the dates. But this is exactly what it means. For an example, this is actually week 1, right? Because we just meet once a week. This is actually week 1. So we actually should be working on section 1.1. Now, what do we have in the section 1.1? In the section 1.1, which is actually the first part of the module 1, right? We have a video lecture. Since this is our first class, we'll listen our lecture here, because otherwise we should have listened it, at home starting from next week. So we'll listen a video lecture which will be based on section 1.1. Then there will be a homework on section 1.1. You can do it for unlimited number of times, but you at least have to get 80%. I would say you try it for 100%. And then we have a self-check for section 1.1. Okay? And then we'll move on to section 1.2. So even if you see the section 1.2 in the week 2, that means that you actually should be working for section 1.2 all the week, next week. You don't wait until Friday, because the Friday is the day when we come here and we meet. And if you struggle and if you don't understand something, if you have some question in the self-check or homework, then you can ask and you can even try it again. You see what I'm saying? But don't wait until next Friday to start section 1.2. Because you can always start before that. I'm saying you can always start listening to the lecture and then doing the homework. And it doesn't hurt, because the homework you can try again and again. I'm saying you can do 100 times. There is no problem, and try it. Okay? Every time you see the same question but different numbers, so you can practice. So this always helps. So basically, these are some sort of like deadlines. So in the week 1, we do section 1.1, which is actually today. And then week 2, section 1.2. In the week 3, we do our exam 1. And then we also start our section 2.1. So we actually keep doing like this. As you can see, we have several. So let me clarify one thing here. I think sometimes we get confused here. So these section numbers are not the same section numbers like the book has. So if this section 1.1 doesn't mean that this is from the chapter 1.1. Okay? This section 1.1 actually means that this is the first section of module 1. That may include multiple sections from the book. Okay? And that's why you see that in the module 1, remember, if you recall the module 1, we actually had 4 sections from the book, right? But here in the module 1, we only have 2 sections. Basically, these 2 sections will be covering all those 4 sections from the book. So this section's number doesn't actually match the book section number. You see what I'm saying? So section 1.1 does not mean the section 1.1 from the book. So basically, so it's possible that the section 1.1 actually means that section 1.1 and section 1.2 of the book. You see what I'm saying? Because in real book, we have 4 sections to cover. But in the module, in every module, we actually have only 2 sections. We try to minimize it. That means that in every section, you will see we skews, actually multiple sections of the book. Even if that is section 1.1, that actually includes, I think, at least 2 sections of the book, which are probably section 1.1 and 1.3 from the book. Okay? A lot of times we get a little bit confused. So that's why you see here in the week 3, we actually have our exam 1, which is actually the exam for the module exam 1. So exam for the module 1. Okay? So because we are done by that time, we are done with our. So we strictly follow this schedule. Okay, I'm not saying that, okay, let's say if you are here on the week 2 and if you did not finish your section 1.2 by the time, I'm not saying that we will penalize you, but what I'm saying is, if you are not at that point, at that section at that point, that means you are behind. You must have to catch class, okay? But we also have to make sure that we finish the exam on time, because otherwise we'll be behind. Because you see here where we have extremely tight schedule, because we have 5 module exams, and every module takes at least like 2 to 3 weeks, right? So we don't have actually too much time. So as you can see, every module we actually have 2 sections, but that doesn't mean that it actually covers 2 sections from the book. From the book actually covers more than 2 sections, okay? But you don't have to worry. All you have to do is just listen to the lecture on that section, okay? And again, remember, in every section you may have more than one lecture. So once you go there, you'll see it. I'm saying we don't want to again repeat that. But I'll actually probably write the date here. But even if I don't write the date, you can guess the date, right? It's actually, so this is week 1. So the next week would be like September 8. Then this will be September 15, right? So that means the September 15 we'll have our exam, module exam for a module exam for the module 1. Okay, so I'm saying you see the date, and it's also posted in pause. I'll give you a hard copy, and then you can always come back and see in case you lose the hard copy. Any question about the pace of this class? Now, some of these are actually departmental policies. It's not like that I'm the one who is actually making all of these, because this class has many sections in Southwest. So we teach here at Macon. We have several different types of sections. We have sections in other campuses. We try to make it more unified, so everybody pretty much have the same rules, restrictions, policies, dates. So that's why the department actually push a little bit so that they have a uniform policy. So instructors have determined their own exam dates, but have these dates added to the syllabus. I think you already can see, because since we meet only once, so there is not too much flexibility for me to change these dates. And then the second paragraph is about the flex term. So we are not in the flex term, so I'm skipping that part. So I'll also let you know about the final exam date, but it's most likely it's actually the last Friday of the semester. Okay, but I'll let you know, because I have to check the Southwest calendar just to see the final exam date, meaning the comprehensive final date. Okay, now you see here in the week 14th and week 15 we actually have 2 back-to-back exam. The reason is, in the week 14 we finish the module 5, so that's why we have an exam for the module 5. Okay, and then next week we actually have a comprehensive final exam which covers all of the module, meaning the module 1 to module 5. Any question? Let me show you what we are expecting in our in our notebook folder. Let's go back here, start here, and let's see what we have. Okay, we also have a file here which actually will tell us what we are expecting from our notebook. I'll also give you a hard copy, and then here is our, so notebooks are required for this class. It should be kept in a 3-ring binder with 3 sections, because since we have these 3 sections all the time, so we have the note, so we have to take notes for each lecture we are listening, and then we have to have homework section where we'll be doing the homework, because you just write the number and then you do the steps, and in the 3rd section you'll be doing the self-check. Okay, so no other coursework should be kept in the notebook. This should be a unique, I'm saying this only for this class. Notebook should be graded in the following categories, so that you know exactly how I would be grading. So first of all, neatness, you will have 1 point. If the work is neat, so you can see what is the ideal neatness means. Organization, so basically if it is organized in sections for lecture, okay, so how do you organize it? So make sure you write it down. Let's say section 1.1, so I know exactly what you have in the section 1.1. Then you start the next section, just write the section name so I can see exactly which section starts where and where it ends. And also completeness. So if a problem were attempted, make sure your problem shows the I probably will give you a little bit of discount in writing the question, so you probably don't have to write the question, but make sure you write the solution and answer, okay? And make sure you also write the question number so that I know exactly what question you are trying to answer. And also your effort. So don't skip the steps and don't just do it in calculator and write the answer. Okay, try to at least write a couple of lines and make sure so somebody else can see and understand what you are trying to do. Okay, notebooks will be due on the module exam dates. So you have to have your notebooks when you will be having your exam. So the idea is when you will have your exam, I'll have your notebook and I'll be grading it manually. Once you're done with your exam, I'll give you the notebook back, so you'll have your notebook, but you'll see your grade in MyLabs Plus. Okay. So here are some ideas also that a student who receive 4 points will receive a 90 to 100%. So you can see the range of grades based on the points. Okay. So I'll give you also a hard copy so that you exactly know about the notebook rubric and you will know how we are grading your notebook. Any question here? If not, I think we can go to our website, which is stcc.mylabsplus.com, and let's log on to that website so that we can see what we have there for our first section, which is section 1.1. And one more thing before I finish this discussion, in pause we have under the course tools, we have a software called Tegrity. If you click the Tegrity, you will be able to see this interface where we have all the lectures recorded. As I said, we will not have too many lectures in this class. Sometime we probably will talk about something. In case we have to talk, we record all this lecture. Okay. In case you need to listen it back, you can always go to Tegrity and you can listen it. Okay. You don't see any of the any lectures at this point because this is the first class. But once we are done, you will see the lecture we have today with this interface and the voice in the background here as a video lecture. Okay. So you can always go back here, and in case you want, you can always listen it back. Okay. And this software has also a free app for all the Mac and Android devices. In case you want, you can go to the My account and click Generate Code and get a code and enter the code in the free app. Then you will be registered so that you can listen that from your cell phone or any Mac or Android devices. Okay. So let me stop this presentation here so that we can go to the My Southwest. I'm sorry, the MyLabs Plus. Let me also see whether we can show you the interface from here. You can probably type STCC MyLabs Plus. So actually my interface is a little bit different than yours, okay? But once you click it, you should be able to, you will need to enter your information, okay? You'll be able to enter your, did you ever use MyLabs Plus? So you should have your account then. You can reuse the same account. You actually should reuse your same account in that case. If you have not, then you have to create a new account, okay? So, and once you go to the class, you probably will see you can see all those materials. So if you go here under the homeworks and self-check section, you actually see all those. So homeworks, as you can see, you see here there are some flags. Now these flags means those items are restricted. Meaning if you even move your mouse over the flag, you can see exactly what is the restriction. For an example, this is my homework 1.1, which is actually restricted by the lecture because I have to listen the lecture 100% before we start this. So, that's the restriction. And if you just move your mouse there, you will know exactly what is the restriction placed for that. So you'll not be able to start it. And in case you don't, that means you did not meet the requirement. Okay. So that's, as you can see here, for each of these, we have restrictions given here. But remember, there are, as I was mentioning, there are some of the items which are open and which should be used as a resource. I'm saying those are not graded, those are not required, but in case you want, for an example, we have some video tutorials for the calculator, meaning how to do these, how to do that using the TI-84 calculator. Okay. Now remember, if you have bought a different one like say TI-83, your options may be a little bit different, but it will be pretty close. Okay. Let me stop this presentation so then you can start working on your section 1.1 today.